All right, I never want you to ever have to go through the pain, the struggle, the difficulty, the hardship that I had to figure out this information for. I've spent $25,000, probably over 2,000 hours sitting at a desk going, what the fuck is actually going on, to finally come to understand what the true nature of the universe, aka yourself, actually exists, how it works, and what is going on. That's a bold claim, but I'm telling you, just watch this video and it will truly, truly change your fucking life. And you've probably heard that before, but I know from the bottom of my heart, I genuinely know from the bottom of my heart, this will change your life if you take it and you apply it into your life. For if I knew this, I would have saved myself $25,000 and about 2,000 hours, right? So let's fucking do it. So the one thing that they do not ever tell us to think about is emotion. But the whole universe runs on emotion. I'm going to give you some simple examples. When you go to buy a coffee, what are you actually buying when you buy that, when you tap that? You're buying a feeling, right? You want the coffee to give you some sort of caffeine so that you feel some sort of way, or maybe it's for the heat, right? You're always going for some sort of feeling, right? It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. If you're trying to go to the gym, generally you're trying to get into good shape. Why? So you can get the feeling of other people saying, wow, you look better. Right? It's always a confidence thing. There's always something that you're trying to elicit in a feeling every single interaction that you make. For the universe runs on emotion. That is literally it. They put the money up as a big paywall, as a big thing like, oh, you need money, you need this. No. You're always trying to get a feeling, right? If you go to work, you're trying to get a feeling of like freedom, of like, you know, outside of work, you're trying to get peace, you're trying to pay the bills. But when you pay a bill, what are you actually trying to get? The relief of like, oh, I don't have to worry about that bill again, right? But every time we try to think it's the money, we try to think it's the thing, but all it is we're trying to get the emotion. And when you truly come to understand this, this is where manifestation comes in. It can become so key, or the law of attraction, or whatever it is that you want to call it, because if you be the thing, you attract the thing. Right? If you be the person that already has it, then you will attract it anyway. For if you are in the emotional state, it attracts to you. And I'll show you that in just a second. Because everything is energy in motion, right? Everything is a vibration. Everything is a frequency. It is literally proven, right? All the old big names like Nikola Tesla, like Albert Einstein, they all understood that the whole entire universe ran on emotion, energy in motion. For everything is a vibration, everything has a frequency. And all we need to do is tap into the frequency of the thing that you want, right? The thing that you want, and then it shall be added onto you. That is why the Bible says it over and over and over and over again. This is why the Bible says be, do, have. Why? Because you must be first, right? And then it will be added onto you. It is that simple. You have to be in the emotional state. This is what they meant when you literally plant the seeds, right? He shall reap what he sows. He sows. That is emotionally charged thoughts, right? And I'm going to get into that in a second, but I truly, truly hope you understand exactly what I am saying. Why? Because this will change your life. You can literally grasp anything if you truly come to understand the language of you, the universe, and the heart and the mind is all emotion, energy in motion, right? If you go to tap a bill, like, fuck, I don't want to pay this, fuck, I don't want to pay this, fuck, I don't want to pay this, that's going to keep reciprocating back and forth to you. I know you do it. We all do it. I've done it, and it took me a long time to truly come to terms that all that matters is right here, right now, and I'm going to talk to you about that because, wow, I love talking about this stuff. As you can tell, I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. But I genuinely, wholeheartedly, am mind-blown that we never, ever get taught this. We're always taught to think logically. We're always taught to like, oh, you just memorize it in school, right? Oh, you just use your memory in school, right? And then you take the test and then you pass. It's like, no, we never get taught to think for ourselves. Through our emotion, through our heart, through our emotionally charged thoughts, which is what I'm going to get into now. Damn, am I excited. Woo! Subconscious. Mind. This thing right here. The conscious is like what you're thinking about right now. You're probably watching this video fairly consciously, but the subconscious mind is the emotion that you're feeling in the background without you even knowing it. I can guarantee you, you don't even know what it's actually doing, but it controls and dictates your pretty much entire existence, at least 90% of it, right? And this is all charged by emotion, energy in motion. For what you see out there, for what you see out in your reality is exactly what is reflecting through your subconscious mind. For Hermetic principle, there are no full truths, there are only half truths. For what your subconscious mind accepts as true is what your reality will show back to you. That is why there is no full truths, there are only half truths. For your subconscious mind, it dictates the reality that you see out there. For you only see the world for who you are, not for what it truly is at the core of what it is. We are all the same, right? We all have our glasses on, we all have our lenses on. No one sees you the same way that you see yourself, which is another reason why you should never ever care about what other people think, for no one can ever possibly perceive you for who you are through their own lens, right? You have your own lens, your own perception. This is why you should only ever care about you, your internal state of being. And this is why it always comes back to your internal state, to who you believe yourself to be at the core of your being, subconsciously in your mind, right? For then everything shall be added onto you, right? Because it's about who you believe yourself to be at the core of your absolute being in your subconscious mind. And this is tied to your self-worth, right? But the problem is, when it comes to your self-worth, all that happens is we look for the external. We look for the external validation from our mum, our dad, from our friends, from our boss, from our business partner. We look for the external validation from other people, except instead of looking at from ourselves. But no one's ever going to perceive you in the way that you perceive yourself. It doesn't matter how close you are to that person. No one will ever perceive you in the exact same light that you perceive yourself. So you get to dictate your entire life. You get to choose who you perceive yourself to be. No one else does, right? And the moment that you can come to terms with that is this is why we get tied to like hard work, right? You probably put your self-worth on hard work. And this reflects back to you. You think that everything has to be hard. Anytime that anything comes easy to you, you think, nah, that's not right. That's not right. That feels weird. I know it. I've been through it. I've done it. I go through it. I struggle with it sometimes. We like this idea of just like, oh, nah, it's going to be harder than that. Life can't be that easy. Why? Why? God is literally infinite, which I'll get to in a second. But God has the power within you, for He is infinite, so you have the power of God within you. Am I calling you God? No. And when I refer to God, I don't mean a specific God, whoever you believe to be true, just the higher power, the higher source, the creator of this infinite universe. For you are infinite. You are infinite. You have infinite within you. Right? But you get tied to the emotion of hard work and you tie it to self-worth. And what happens anytime that you go to do something, you're like, oh, I've got to work harder. I've got to do more. I've got to do more. I've got to do more. Life can't be that easy. No. Why? Because it's all tied to your subconscious mind. It's all tied back to your subconscious mind and what you truly believe to be true about the world. But the most amazing thing that I'm going to walk you through right now is insane. Just remember, the language of the subconscious mind, I'm going to tie this all back in at the end, is emotion. But this is the part that is going to blow your mind. Because it blew my mind, I can tell you that. When it all finally sort of clicked to me, I was like, holy shit. And by the way, subconscious mind only knows the here, the right now, the present now. It does get tied to old emotions, which I'm going to get into. But I'm going to tie this all in at the end. The only thing that truly matters is right here, right now, the emotionally charged thoughts that you're putting out to the universe. To the universe. Because it is you, right? But The thing is that everything that's in your subconscious mind right now that tends to take up is just beliefs plus experiences. Everything that you believe to be true about the world has happened in your life already. For when we're 0 to 7, this is why when you're young and you're a kid, you're in theta brainwave state. Right? You're in theta brainwave state, which is the language of the subconscious mind, which is the most susceptible time that your mind is within the subconscious. So anything that you listen to, anything that you hear, it just gets added into your subconscious mind as emotion, as a feeling. So that is why even from when you are 0 to 7, right, or traumatic, events. Traumatic events, they can be negative or positive. For negative or positive aren't actually negative or positive, but I'm not even going to get into that right now. But 0 to 7, theta brainwave state, right, which is when we're most susceptible to allowing things into our subconscious mind, right? So this is why if you, like me, I had massive money beliefs, right? That I was like, wasn't good enough about having money, like I wasn't allowed it, it was bad, things like that, like I couldn't have it, I couldn't allow myself to have it, things like that. And it all comes from your channeling from when you were 0 to 7 years old, through your beliefs, through your parents, through your schooling, through your childhood, anything that happened back to you then, you're still running on the emotion now. Why? Because we put these people on a pedestal. This is why if you always continuously pedestal people in your life, you're always going to put them on a pedestal, and you're not going to allow yourself to have to be and allow yourself and accept yourself that you are better, that you are good enough, right? We always pedestal these people, these characters in our lives, our teachers, our parents, things like that from when we were 0 to 7 years old, because they're quote unquote an authority over us then, right? So they get susceptible, their ideas get channeled into our subconscious mind. That is why almost all of our decisions are still based from when we were 0 to 7 years old. And if you can truly come to understand that, that's when everything will change. But this is why traumatic events, right? This is why people that get told that they have like OCD, that they have like depression, all this bullshit. It's not true. It's not true. You can't just have something for the rest of your life, right? They quote unquote call these traumatic events, and then they give you pills, and then they give you other things, then they tell yourself, then a doctor tells you that, oh, you're depressed, oh, you've got this. And because we view them as an authority, it becomes even more emotional in our head, and then it gets played over and over and over and over again. For one incident might have happened to you, but how much more do we play it over and over and over and over again in our head? And why do we play it over and over and over again? Because it's laced with emotion. This can be used for good or bad, right? Everything good that's happened to your life is generally laced with emotion. Like whatever it is that you've been through in your life, it's been laced with good emotion if you deem it as good. If it's brought you some sort of joy, happiness, when your parents tell you that, oh, you did such a good job, or when your wife tells you, oh, you did such a good job, right? It's always been laced with emotion. And that causes us to act and do things in a different way. We start doing more of the things that we get told, oh, we're good at those things. Oh, we're good at that. We're good at this. Every time that you're told, it's an emotionally charged thought, like, damn, maybe I am good at this, right? But then we start seeking this external validation. And it all ties back to our beliefs and experiences of the things that we've been through, right? Because most things are traumatic events or when we're 0 to 7 in theta brainwave state. And these channel most of our emotional thoughts right now. It's insane. It's crazy, right? But this is absolutely key to know, because you can intercept this, right? Because you've felt good. You've felt peace. You've felt gratitude. You've felt fulfillment. You've felt all the good things that you'd like to feel in your life before. So why don't we just do it more? We can do it more. And I'm going to show you how to do all of this at the end. I'm not holding anything back, because this truly, genuinely changed my life. Your beliefs and experiences, some beliefs aren't even yours, right? And what I mean by this, What I mean by this is there's the hive mind, which basically means like someone that isn't even like, I mean, this is like a group of people, right? This is how, like, you could even class religious, or you could go Democrat versus Republican, for example. This is a group of people, this is a living entity, this is a living energy source. So you could go soccer, you could go football, whatever your favorite team is. All this is the hive mind, and you probably didn't even decide your favorite team based on what you went through. All it would have been, would have your dad or one of your friends been like, oh yeah, I like this team. And then you just go, oh well, I like this guy, so I'm going to do that too. That's it, right? The hive mind has people by the balls. Has people by the balls. Right? It is that simple. It had me by the balls for a long time. Like when I was drinking, drugs, partying, I thought that was all there was. I genuinely was like, oh, well, this is fun. And then until I realized you can feel this way without actually getting the low. You don't have to feel the low. Right, but anyway, that's a story for another day. The hive mind is just a belief that isn't really yours. Like this could be about your business, for example. You could be like, oh, nah, like that method, like, nah, it doesn't work anymore. I know you think it. All that is a belief. It's like they say that, oh, 90% of small businesses fail. It's like, did you experience that yourself? Then it is just a belief, right? Otherwise, you're just attaching yourself to that thing. And generally, most of the time, it's some sort of cope. Or it's some way to feel better about yourself. Trust me, I did it. I went through it. Went to college till I realized that shit is bullshit unless you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. I realized that going to college is absolutely and completely out of bullshit. Because it's just the hive mind. It's just a group of people telling yourself, yeah, you got to do this, you got to do that with your life. When the truth of the matter is, you get to do whatever the fuck you want with your life because no one can actually perceive you for who you are. Only you know who you are at the core of your absolute being. So remember, the hive mind, it is an entity. And this comes from Reality Transurfing, the book. Great book, you should read it. But they call them pendulums. It is just an entity. And this will all make sense in just a second. Because everything runs on energy, right? So there are pendulums that swing, right? There is a living and breathing entity. And the hive mind, anytime that you go try leave, this is why it feels difficult to like, leave my friends. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Anytime that you go try change, it's because you're addicted to the feeling of being in the pendulum, right? It might be a bad feeling, but it doesn't matter we don't like trying to change. Why? Because we are a living, breathing entity through our ego, through our own self, right? So everything that we've been through so far, when we go try change, that's why it feels so hard, because you're trying to detach from the old version of you. This is what they mean when they say it's you versus you. Because it always has been and it always will be you versus you. Mentally in your head, no one else is having the conversations that you're having. Right? But this is all just based on your beliefs and your experiences. And when you go try change, the pendulum wants to grab you and keep you in there, for it is a group of people and it is an energy force. So when you go try change, you're trying to leave that. You're trying to leave the energy behind. You're trying to leave the old version of you behind, your old self, and the living and breathing entity of the pendulum. But beliefs and experiences. Just remember, I'm going to show you at the end how to intercept these, right? Because it's not very hard. It's not very difficult, right? You can have your desired reality. You can have whatever you want, for you're already manifesting. You manifest every single solitary day, every single solitary second. My SD card ran out. But if we want a science-based version of all of this, right? We are an electromagnetic field. And I believe it's Dr. Joe Dispenza. There's lots of studies on this stuff, but he's the one that's sort of leading this, right? And this is in the quantum physics space, in the quantum physics realm. So basically, our heart and our mind, they create an electromagnetic field around us. Why? Because we're an energy source. We're an entity ourselves, right? So if you want to understand this, plus mind, create the electromagnetic field around us. For the mind, it is the thoughts that we sort of send out, basically. We send out to the universe, and then our heart, it attracts our desires. This is why we have to be first, right? You have to think in your mind that it is done. You have to know in your mind that the thing that you want is already done, and then the heart adds it onto you, for it is 60 to 100 times more charged than your mind, right? Because the heart, they don't even fucking tell you this, is the heart literally has its own little brain. It has its own little mind in there. It has like 40,000 neurons pumping around in there. Why? Because it is the language of, what are we going to do? Language of God. And the language of God is emotion. But they don't tell you to think with your heart. They don't tell you to think with your emotion. They don't tell you to think. They only tell you to think with your mind through your rational thoughts. But the language of the subconscious mind is emotion, emotionally charged thoughts. And this is how it all ties back together through your electromagnetic field. As you can tell, I get very, very excited about this stuff. But it's insane. I don't know why we don't get taught it. Right? For you can go into any single desired reality that you want through your emotionally charged thoughts at any given present moment. Any time that you want. You could decide, imagine right now, think about you in the boat or in the car that you want or whatever it is that you want. Think about the feeling, the emotion that that's going to give you. That's what you're trying to elicit. That's what you're trying to get, right? And then the heart will add it onto you. Shall it be added onto you for, I can't remember exactly, he who seeks the kingdom of righteousness first, of God. You know what? I'm not even going to try. I'll put a screenshot up here. All right, it all makes sense when I put the screenshot up here. But basically, the heart, the language of the God, if you seek God, aka God's infinite, He's in with yourself, it will be added on to you. But that's the science-based side behind it, right? And the reason that I tell you this side is because you can tap in to the version of you that's already got it. Because there's this theory called parallel universe theory, right? It's in the, what's the word? Esoteric, I believe, right? In the esoteric, there's this theory that you can tap into the alternate version of you. For there is infinite possible parallel universes of you right here, right now. And this is going to all make sense when it ties back to the subconscious mind. For the subconscious mind only knows they're right here, right now. The right here, right now. That's all it knows, the present moment. All that dictates it is your emotionally charged thoughts, aka the seeds that you're planting right now. Aka that's why it says, ye shall reap what he sows. Because the sows is the fucking plants. Are the seeds that get planted. And the more and more you water them with that emotionally charged thoughts, then it grows into a tree. And then suddenly you're like, oh shit, there's a tree out there. Right, fully grown tree. But the more and more you water them, the more you normalize them, you're like, oh shit, that actually happened. Why? Because you've already done it mentally. You've normalized it to the point. And I don't even know what I was going to talk about next. But all you really do need to know is emotionally charged thoughts. What do I want to talk about next? It's a good question. I'll wipe this off. I'll think about it because this stuff clearly excites me. And I really, really hope you guys are taking notes. If you are, let me know in the comments. Oh, I was talking about parallel universe. Right, gotcha. So yeah, there's the theory that you can, and there is, the version of you that's got everything that you want. That's why you desire things. That's why you think that you can have these things. That's why you have the dream, the goal, the vision, is because you actually already have it in an alternate universe. And literally the way that you tap into this version of you is literally by feeling the emotion. The emotion that it would give you in that desired reality. in the thing that you want, but you have to actually be it for the subconscious mind, aka your imagination. This is where it comes down to creation. For you have the creator within you, right? You can create, it already exists, but we'll use create as the word. You can create any life that you want, for it is already yours in an alternate parallel universe. And that is how you tap in. You tap in through the emotion that you would feel, and you be it right here, right now. For the subconscious mind, aka the language of the universe, only knows right here, right now, in this very moment, right? The old frequency is the thing that keeps coming back. That old entity we talked about before, it's the thing that keeps coming back. Why? Because it's still a living energy source, right? You can't completely let go of it. Well, in the Hermetics, they actually say that you sort of can. You can swing with the pendulum, and then you can understand where you are, and you can let go. But that takes a lot of practice. That'll take a long while if you decide it will, right? Because everything is just a decision. Everything's just a choice, right? And that's also a hard concept to grasp. You could just decide right now, fuck this. I want everything. I'm going to get it, right? It is literally your choice. For your subconscious mind knows no different than the current present moment. But you have to understand, is the subconscious mind, it is something that sort of needs to be built if you really decide it to be built. But as humans, we sort of have monkey minds where we're like, fuck, I need proof, I need proof, I need proof. So you build the manifestation muscle. Just start small. Start like really, really small. Just anything. Oh, I want to see a red car. Okay. Oh, there's a red car. Right? Just build the manifestation muscle over and over and over and over again. Technically, you've already been doing it your whole life, but you haven't actively been doing it in the know of knowing how to do it. So just think, oh, I want to see a red car. Bang, red car. Right? Oh, I want to wake up at a certain time. Oh, okay, bang. All these sorts of things, and just start manifesting, because you are always, always manifesting. And when you start to intercept and show yourself, oh, I can do it myself, and then you see it on the physical realm, even though the physical realm is only 0.0035% of what we can see. Anyway, different story. But for some reason, as humans, we need the physical proof, but you don't actually. And this is the point that I'm trying to get to you at the end, is for it is the universe so it should be done mentally before it's done physically, right? But as humans, we just like to see physical proof, but that's just based on the beliefs and the experiences that we've been through. For the only thing that truly matters is right here, right now, through your subconscious mind, through your emotionally charged thoughts, tapping into this alternate parallel universe version of you. And until you normalize that to a point where it feels normal, so that excitement, that joy, that peace, that fulfillment, that thing that you so deeply desire, that you're looking for, the emotion through the car, through the woman, through the physique, through the amount of money that you want in your account, until you can normalize that to the point where that peace, that joy, that excitement, that fulfillment, it feels normal to you, then it will be added on to you, for it will attract through your heart, aka through the language of God. You literally just have to sit there and do the reps mentally. I'm not saying that you don't have to take the physical action, for there is 3 planes of existence, right? So there's the mental, there's the spiritual, and then there is the physical. See, a lot of people, they try change and effect with an effect, but it doesn't work, right? You can't change and do more work. You can't change an effect with an effect. They'll work harder, but they'll end up in the exact same spot. They'll work more hours, but they'll end up with the same amount of money in their bank account. Why? Because they're trying to change an effect with an effect, where you have to lock into the frequency of the thing that you want through the vibration, through the frequency, right? It blows your mind when you start to realize, holy shit, how powerful you really are, because you are. You have infinite power within you. You have infinite possibilities of what can happen in this world to you, for you, because at the end of the day, it is always and always will be the universe. Always, always you. Always. Every single solitary thing is you. You have the conversations in your head. And I'm saying this from a point of like, holy fuck. Holy fuck. When I figured this shit out, I was like, oh my God, it is just me. It is just me. It's like, if I have no money, I'm thinking, I have no money. Oh shit, I have no money. Oh shit, I have no money. Guess what? That reflects back to you. If you think, oh, I've got 20K, oh, I've got this, I've got that, that's going to be reflected back to you. as long as you feel the emotionally charged feeling. This is why it's hard to get out of the quote-unquote survival paradigm. I'll put up the map of consciousness here. Why? Because you think that the physical reality is changing you. You think the physical reality is what is causing your emotion, but it is not. It is you. It is your emotionally charged thoughts on the inside. This is why we get stuck in the negative habit loop. For we have the mental, spiritual, and then the physical plane, right? The three planes of existence: mental, spiritual, and physical. For these, as we've talked about, really are sort of interchangeable, right? And I'm meaning spiritual on them, whoever you believe to be the creator. Again, I don't really put a specific creator out there as the quote-unquote best. I know the Bible has a lot of goodness in it in terms of like he shall reap what he sows. That's planting the seeds. That's the sun and the moon. That's them crossing over. And then the stars, they are the seeds that are being planted, right? It's very, very interesting stuff. Anyway, we have the mental and the spiritual, and they are interchangeable, right, on the three planes of existence. And then that creates the physical reality. But a lot of people, they're out here, they're trying to change an effect with an effect. How can you do more work and expect something different to change? You can't. You can't change an effect with an effect, right? So you have to intercept it with your emotionally charged thoughts. And this is the only thing that will be quote unquote hard for you, right? This will be only thing that you feel and it deems to be difficult for you. Why? Because you're so used to your beliefs, to your experiences of like, oh no, I'll just do more physical work. I'll just do more of this. But if you decide right now that it will be hard, then it will be hard. But if you can actually decide right now, for the subconscious mind, as we've talked about, it only knows the here, it only knows the now, it only knows right here, right now. So you can actually decide right here, right now, in this very moment, that you can have every single solitary thing that you want. And of course, it's just a repetition game after that, because you have to water the seeds, aka the stars, aka when the moon and the sun is literally growing the seeds of the stars, aka your emotionally charged thoughts. Emotionally charged thoughts, they create your reality. It's what you spend your time. It's what you spend your attention on. If you are like, have no money, if you're thinking, fuck, I've got no money. And then on the other hand, you could be like, well, guess what I do have? I've got a laptop, I've got a phone, I've got all of these things. But for some reason, our minds, and there's like human psyche behind this, our minds, they instantly go to like the bad. They instantly go to like the negative. They instantly go to the survival instinct of it. And there's, I think it's in the, some part of the brain, can't remember. Basically, this is how you're controlled, right? You're controlled through your emotions. So everyone thinks, these big elite people, these big people, everyone thinks that they are controlling like the money, but they're not. They're controlling the emotion of everyone else. That's it. They're controlling the emotion. They're controlling the narrative through emotion. We have a part of our brain, and I'm really trying to think of what it is, but I can't right now. We have a part of our brain that is basically all basal ganglia, I think it is. Basal ganglia in our brain where we're in like survival instinct. And this is just something that's built in. You can't neglect it. It's always been there, right? The only way that you neglect it is actually by positively, emotionally charging your thoughts over and over and over and over again while you're in theta brainwave state specifically is very good. But the basal ganglia, that's pretty much how they control the narrative through your emotion, energy, and motion, right? They'll put out something through a broadcasting video, a broadcasting photo on like the news or on whatever it is, and then that elicits an emotion in our head. Then we start talking about it as the hive mind, and then we grow this entity. All they're doing is putting out one thing and fucking laughing from up above, right? That's it. We create the energy, we create the emotion. All they did was literally elicit in a couple videos, a couple photos. Think about how many good things happen in this world. How many good things happen? How often do you see that? You don't. Why? Because the elites, the higher above people, all they're doing is controlling the narrative through emotion, through our survival instincts. That is why it is so much easier to control people in the survival paradigm, because we're so taught to think through our beliefs and experiences, which aren't even really yours, but they kind of are now, but you get the point. When that happens, that is why you feel control. That is why you think you're in control, but you're not. right? And I went through it's crazy. But they don't really tell you any of this. Well, I can see why they don't tell you any of this. But I ain't here to gatekeep. I'm here to get you in your desired reality. But that is why. That is why. They control you through your emotion. But this is why we look for external validation. We look for other things. But there are 3 planes of existence. And if you think that they are more powerful than God, the infinite intelligence, then it is bullshit. It is bullshit. You are so much more powerful. You have so much more power in you through the mental and the spiritual planes which create your physical reality. Right? Left hemisphere of the brain, I believe it is. That's your just like rational thinking. And then the right hemisphere of the brain, that's why you have 2 hemispheres. Right? That's like your cosmic, your creative, your side. But if you are constantly controlled through, oh no, I got to think rationally, I got to think with this, I got to do this, and you aren't even using the right hemisphere of the brain through your God self, through your spiritual plane, through your heart as well, aka the language of God, aka the language of the universe, emotion, that's how you are controlled. That's how you get controlled. It's nuts. I'm not going to say it's nuts. I've normalized it now, but you know what I'm saying. You get me? Exactly. What else do I have for you guys today? I'm having fun. One thing. Yeah, how convicted I am in this video. Like, you probably hear it. You probably can tell. You have to be so convicted. So convicted that it's already done mentally. You have to just know, right? There's a whole difference between like, you know, when you like trust someone, it gives the opportunity of the other side of being like, there was a thought form where maybe I didn't trust him. No. You know that friend, or you know that someone, that you're just so convicted that they would never ever betray you. Maybe you don't, right? Whatever it is that you can extrapolate and give to this, you have to be so fucking convicted that it's already done. Why would you not be convicted anyway? For if you're not convicted, you are not. To doubt yourself, I heard this from my guy, Narrow Knowledge, shout out. To doubt yourself is to doubt God. To doubt yourself is to doubt God. For God is within you. You have the higher power within you. You can literally do any fucking thing that you want with your life. Why? Because it already exists in an alternate parallel universe, aka through the language of God, aka through the language of emotion, energy, in motion. But you must be so damn convicted that it's already done. Much like you would go to the supermarket. Right, you tell yourself, I need to go to the supermarket, and then it's already done in your head mentally. You already know that you're going to go get the food. The actions are just going to unfold. It is much the same when you're in your desired reality, whether that be physique, the woman, the finances, whatever it is that you want right now. You must be convicted through the mental plane and the spiritual plane that it is already done, for it is already done. You just have to give it to yourself. Pause. You just have to give it to yourself. You have to allow yourself to have it, for it is already yours. You don't need anyone else to externally validate it, for everything is mental, as it says in the Hermetic principles. Every single solitary thing is mental. Everything. I'm not saying neglect the physical plane, because you still have to take the actions, right? But the actions will unfold. They will feel normal. Everything Everyone's like, oh, it's got to be hard, it's got to be hard. Why? Why? Who put the idea out there that it has to be hard? It doesn't. But we're so used to it through our beliefs, through our experiences. That's why when you might get given something, you're like, nah, can't be that easy. Why? Actually ask yourself, why? Why can't it be that easy? Everyone says, oh, you got to work hard, you got to work hard, you got to work hard. Then that ties you that you have to work hard. I'm not saying working hard is a bad thing, for it is a good thing. Like if you want something, go fucking get it. But all I'm saying, be in the frequency of it, and then it will feel natural. It'll feel normal. For your birthright is abundance through God. That's why there is countless apples lying all over the ground. Countless, whatever it is lying all over the ground. Food, there's endless amounts of food. Anyone ever telling you that the world is scarce or anything like that, it is complete and utter bullshit. The world is abundant, for it is created by the infinite creator. How can you run out of infinite things? You can't. It doesn't make fucking sense. Right? So you must be emotionally convicted that it's already done, because it is. For it is in an alternate parallel universe, and all you must do is tap into that alternate version of you. For he or she, it already exists. I promise you. I promise you. It blew my mind that we never, ever, ever get taught these things, but I'm not going to leave you with nothing. Well, I'm not going to leave you with nothing. I will teach you what I do when the old frequency comes back. Because like we talked about earlier, it is a living and breathing entity, right? So it's always going to subconsciously still sort of be there. I mean, it's one of those things, it's like you could say, well, if I decide it's not there, then it's not there. And that kind of is true. But I will leave you with something that helps me. So you got to understand the old frequency, or the old version, and by the way, this blew my mind. When someone says like, oh, you've changed, like we get worried about like people around us telling like, oh, you've changed, or you're going to change, or whatever. In your head, you're like, fuck, I have changed. Why is that a bad thing? Why? Why is that a bad thing? It isn't. It means you're growing. It means you haven't gone from 20 years old to 70-year-old and not fucking changed, not done anything. You haven't just worked the same job for your whole entire life. Why would you not want to change? Why would you not want to get better every single solitary day that you exist? Why would you not want that? If some people don't want to change, if some people want to live the same mediocre bullshit life for the rest of their life, where they do the same thing over and over and over and over again, where they don't grow, where they don't get better, where they live in the same group, where they drink with the same friends, sure. Maybe I have changed. Maybe I did get better. That's the way that you should be thinking. Why would you want to not progress for your whole entire life? That's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. People look at change as such a bad thing. Change is the best blessing that God can give you. For if you aren't progressing, you are regressing. And if you are regressing, you are dying. Because you are dying, it's like the quote, it's like some people die at 27, not 70. Well, most people die at 27, not 70. And it's true. It's because people stop progressing. People stop wanting to get better. People want to stop learning. Why? Why would you want to live the same life over and over and over and over again? It never made fucking sense to me. And I get passionate about this one because I want you to wake the fuck up. You have a birthright of abundance from God. I'm not saying you don't work for it. I'm not saying you don't go get it. But I'm saying if you aren't changing, you aren't growing, you aren't progressing. And I got stuck for so long. Wanting more, wanting to go after things. I never want you to that happen to you. So what if you have to leave your old people behind? It's nuts. Do you want to get to 70 years old and think, fuck, I never actually did anything. I never changed. I never took the risk. I never took the leap. I never took the bet on myself for I just wanted to keep a couple of people happy, the couple of people that I'm around right now. Is that really how you want to live your entire existence that God has given to you. For you have infinite possibility of doing whatever the fuck you want. And I get really, really annoyed about this because I'm sort of yelling at my old self, right? But anyway, I love you anyway. I believe in you. But the old frequency, the old version of you, I really sort of just covered it. It's going to come back through your friends, through your family, through these groups of people. For reality is, it's actually really you in your own head thinking that this is what they're doing. But if you just know internally that like, no, I'm infinite, I have God within me, I can literally do whatever I want with my life. I have the higher power, I have the higher source, I know what I'm going after. That is how you stop the old frequency coming back. And I'm not saying that you're not going to have emotional downfalls. I'm not saying that you're not going to have moments where you're like, fuck, my life just feels like it's going upside down. But you need to understand in those very moments, that is a golden nugget. That is the chance for you to go in your head mentally like, holy shit, there's a golden nugget in here, because there always is. For energy, okay, this is where polarity comes in. Everyone says it's negative, positive, but it's not. It's polarity, right? Stress, the opposite of that is peace, right? This is on a vibrational frequency. Therefore, it is on the same vibration. Therefore, there is actually no end opposite. Everyone thinks it's like lightness and darkness. It's not that there's just an end, lightness and darkness. It's how light, how dark. There's a polarity, right? So if you're in the state of like stressed, anxious, worried about anything in your life, you need to understand that there is the complete polar opposite. There is the polarity within it. Like for stress, it is peace, right? They are on the same frequency, the same vibration. So that means in technicalities form, you are sitting on the right frequency. You're just sitting at the wrong energy, the wrong vibration of that frequency. It's like steam plus ice. They are the same thing, just on different vibrational frequencies. Just on different vibrations, sorry. Right? One is manifested into physical reality. One is something that you can't see, although you can kind of see steam, but you get the point, right? There is an opposite in polarity, non-duality. It's called in Hermetic principles, right? So the old frequency, it exists. The stress, the anxiety, whatever it is, it exists for a reason. It means that you can feel the equal and opposite of it, the polarity of it, right? But what I do, whenever the old frequency does come up, because it does, you look for the golden nugget, for there is always a golden nugget, like I just said, right? So I literally just lie down. I'm like, all right, you don't stop feeling the emotion. You don't push it aside. Why? Because you still want to get the other side. But you have to just go through that little pain of like, oh, maybe it's like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. You lie down. I literally just lie down. I'm like, all right, what do I need to learn? What's the emotion for? What's the thought form that caused the emotion? Because it's always the thought form. It's never the physical reality. For the physical reality is just a projection of your subconscious mind. Right, but the old frequency, when it comes back, literally just lie down, think to yourself, what am I learning here? What's the emotion that I'm feeling? What's the opposite? For you're already on the frequency of it. You just need to get to the polarity of the other side. And then you can find it within there. There's always strength within the weakness that you're feeling. There's always strength in there. You just lie down and you think, what am I learning here? What's the golden nugget? And it's hard. But if you can perform emotional alchemy at any given moment, any given time in your life, if you can water that seed over and over and over again for the desired reality that you want, for the subconscious mind only accepts right now what to be true. For the subconscious mind only accepts what is true about the world. No, I can't even remember that quote. You get the point. The subconscious mind is the absolute key. It is the absolute pivotal thing that you must understand here, is that you're feeling an emotional reaction in your head, and this is when you perform emotional alchemy. This is when you tell yourself, fuck, I'm the man. I'm all over this shit. There's something I can learn here. You lie down, you just think, what can I learn? How can I get better? What am I doing wrong? And then you just think, not what am I doing wrong? You think, what am I learning here? How can I get better? There's always a golden nugget in these emotional downfalls that you do feel through the old frequency, for that is literally all it is. But I'm going to leave you. I think I've been talking for a while now. I'm going to wrap it back up with emotion. Energy. This is important, so don't click off yet. If there's anything that I want you to take away from this video, is that everything is energy in motion. The language of God is energy in motion, right? Language of God. Whatever the God is that you believe to be true, right? And you can channel your subconscious mind, aka the language of God. It is also subconscious mind, language is emotion, energy in motion. For everything is energy in motion. Through your heart. It is the attractor. And your mind, it casts out your thoughts. You must understand that you are like a phone, right? It is crazy to think about this. You are at a phone at a certain frequency, all right? So most of the thoughts that you get, like you get 60,000 thoughts a day or something. Most of the thoughts that you get aren't really yours. You're just on the frequency of that thought. And you have the choice to swipe the notification, yeah, I want to accept that, or leave it, right? It is entirely your choice, and this takes practice. This takes conscious thoughts, thinking, is this mine? Is this me and my desired reality? If it's not, get rid of it. You don't need it. It's that simple. And I know it doesn't seem that simple. It might seem hard, but that's because we make it out to be hard because of our subconscious mind through our beliefs and experiences. Really is that simple. It really is that simple. For your heart attracts what your mind casts out. And your subconscious mind, the language of that is emotion, energy in motion. And that is always going in the background, regardless of what you are doing right here, right now. It's always going in the back of your mind. You always have something going in the back of your mind. For the world is entirely mental. Mental, Hermetic principle. The world is entirely mental. But I'll leave you with this. Remember that the language of the universe, aka yourself, for you are the universe, for it is always and always will be you. The thing that you want must be entirely done mentally. You just have to give it to yourself. You still have to take the physical action, but the physical actions might feel weird in the beginning, but they are actually normal. It's just because of not what you're not used to. You still have to take it on the physical plane, for there are three planes of existence. Spiritual, mental, physical. They all make up 33%. You can't neglect one. But what I am saying is that it is always and forever will be, the universe, aka yourself, is entirely mental. Hermetic principle, right? You can decide. You can emotionally charge your thoughts. You can decide on the life that you want to live. You have to be precise. Your subconscious mind needs to know exactly what it is that you want. That is it. Build the manifestation muscle over and over and over again. Oh, I want a red car. I see a red car out there. All right. Oh, there's a red car. Do that over and over again. For it has always been the universe. Stop looking for external validation. It will not give you what you want. Only you will. You will give yourself what you think you deserve. For you deserve everything because you have God within you. And He created this earth, this place, this universe as the infinite creator, as the infinite that is within you. So you have infinity within you. So the thing that you want, the thing that you so deeply desire within your heart, aka the language of God, the language of the universe, energy in motion, emotion, the thing that you want, it is already yours as long as you accept it to be yours mentally, in your subconscious mind. You must accept it mentally, and you do it through repetition. You feel the emotion over and over and over again. Lie down for 20, 30, 40 minutes a day, or go on a walk. Play something over and over and over again as if it is already yours. You can't say, I will. You can't say, in the future. You have to say, in the present moment. For you got given the imagination, you got given the creative side of you on your right side of your hemisphere of your brain, the God side of you, and in your heart, the emotion. You got given the creative side of you to give yourself everything that you want. Through everything is an imagination of your subconscious mind. You can create whatever you want in your head. You just have to be emotionally convicted that it's done, that it already exists, because it does, because God is infinite. I cannot stress how important this is. Let go of the need, the want to have it. Be it, thrive in it, live in it, for it is already yours. Take the actions. When it feels like nothing's going your way, you must subconsciously know that the mirror will smile back to you. This is where people get stuck. This is where people get lost. Is because they think, fuck, oh, I've got to pay this bill, got to pay this bill. This is why we get caught in those subconscious ruts. You think, fuck, fuck, fuck. But if you can just intercept it and you can smile for long enough, and the reality will smile back to you, for it is already done mentally, for the world is entirely mental. You have God, you have the infinite. You can create whatever it is that you want. You just have to know. That's it. Give it to yourself, pause. And allow yourself to have it, allow yourself to be it. Sit in the emotion. Reap what he shall sow. Plant the fucking seeds that you want and water them over and over and over again, 20, 30 minutes a day. Sit in the emotion of what it is that you want, whether it be the money, the woman, the finances. Add it on to you, and it will be added onto you through attracting through your heart, through God. For God has given you a gift. God has given you this life. You must understand that it is already yours. For you have God. You have the infinite. You have the Creator through your mind, through your heart. But if you want help, it forever will be the universe. You don't need me. You only need yourself. But I get it can feel difficult. So if it does, link in the description. We'll jump on a call. But it is forever and will forever be the universe. For everything is entirely mental. No one will ever see you the same way that you see yourself. So go live. Go be. Go exist. Go be the change in the world that you want to see. I love you guys. Thanks for watching.